Good evening, everybody. Oh, that's not a very good look, is it? Hello. Sorry for the lateness. I was doing some work and got distracted, so I forgot my alarm went off, and then I just kind of snoozed it, and then it got to the point that I was like, oh, it's 7:30, so sorry about that. Tonight we're going to make a card which is kind of like a book fold with a flap. There's lots of different ways that you can do it. I saw it from Lisa Curcio. We'll flip you down and we'll get started. We're using some new designer series paper and another new stamp set that I've got that I thought would be quite good. Okay, let me flip you down and do it without trying to make you sick, hopefully. Alright, and I'll get myself up on the screen so I can see comments. Mute myself. Alrighty. Okay, here we go. So we're going to start with, no, I don't want that size. See, that's what happens. You just kind of not really with it. We're going to mute. Actually, you could use that one. We could use that one. We'll make two. But we're going to start with our cardstock at 10.5 centimeters, which is half of our A4 long ways. Alright, like that. And then we're going to score at 14.85, which is our halfway mark. Do like to push it into the corner just to make sure that we get it nicely. Hello, Alison. So like that, and then I'm gonna come in from the, I want to score the front flap here, alright, because I want to make like a little bit of a book thing. You don't have to, you can leave it like that, but just as a bit of interest, an opportunity to use more designer series paper. I'm going to bring this in at about, let's go 2.5 centimeters. Alright, so that's 2.5 there, roughly 2.5 centimeters, and then we're just going to score across here, and so you're going to end up with this look. Alright, so you've got that. And then we're going to use, so I'm using Fresh Freesia because it coordinates with the designer series paper that I've chosen to use. And then you've got another piece which you will have, I haven't actually made this, I just watched the piece on Pinterest. So we're going to go with, so I've got a piece, this actually was just a piece of scrap, but it's a good size. It's 6.2 centimeters, so you could trim it down to 6 if you really wanted to. I'm just going to leave it as it is. And then I'm going to score at, so you want a piece that's going to fit at the back and hold it together, hold it firm. So I'm going to go 4 centimeters. And then so you can see that that will flip over like that. It's going to flip over here. So I want to make that piece, so if we go 4 centimeters, we know the width of our cardstock is 10.5, so maybe 9. So if I put my score line on the 9 centimeters, then I can trim that off. Hi, Andrea. So we're going to have a piece like that looks like this, and so you're going to have it so that it fits in there like that. So that's why I didn't want it the full length, and then you're going to have that bit there so you can center it. Okay, so that's one. Let's have a look. We're going to use this beautiful paper, which Alison, yours has arrived, so I will pop it in my car to try and remind myself to drop it off to you. So let's have a I'm loving that, but not with this paper. Maybe that one. Has it got enough Fresh Freesia in it, do you think? Well, we need 2, so let's have a look at that one. I'll pop that to the side. Maybe that one, and maybe that one. Oh, that's a bit pretty too. In that one. Okay, so this is called Impressions Abloom. Floral Impressions. It comes with this Impressions Abloom suite. If you wanted to buy it as a suite, it's one of the suites that is on sale at the moment. And so if you are looking at buying a suite, I would suggest that, yeah, depending what you do, however many items you have in your basket, the cheapest item will come off. So if you're wanting to get 2 suites and get 1 suite half price, you will need to do that as a separate order, and then order any other extra things that you want to have, because otherwise your suites will be charged as full price. That's just how the system works. So we've got what's that? 12.35. So I'm going to go 11.85 just here. That seems too big. It's 11 point that way. Yeah. Okay, that's alright. So we want 10 actually. That'll give us something for somewhere else. So we've got 10 centimeters here to give us our nice border, and then if I pop this in here, yeah, that's 11.85. Is that right? And just pop it there to measure. Yep. So that's going to give us a nice little border around there. Maybe take just a smidge off. A very small smidge. And that's going to sit there. And then we're going to pop something here. I don't know if I want the same pattern or a different pattern there. Or do I want that? Or the green. What have I got here in small bits? So we can see what it looks like. That's too thin. That's too busy. That's not quite long enough actually. That disappears. Okay, so the small strips don't work. What do we think? That kind of gets lost, doesn't it? I'm not thinking that. What's this one? Wrong colour. I don't think that colour goes with it. So let's just, so we made that 2.5 centimeters, so we're going to make that 2. Let's just cut another piece of the same. Does it match? Yes, it does. So 2 centimeters that way, and then whereabouts did I trim from? You can't even see where it's trimmed. So we're going to pop that on there. That's going to be our front. We're going to then take, so I'm just going to pop that there. We're going to then take a piece of, so it's 10 by, we're going to need to trim that off. Take that off. Because we're going to stick it down. Like that. Then we're going to pop our piece of, so I think this piece is going to be best. And actually, oh no, it's not wide enough. So this is, how wide? What did we say? 6.3 by 9. So let's do 8.5. So this part here you can do at any size. you can do it at, and you can use either side of the, so that's just going to sit on there like that, which is actually needing just to be just a little bit, because it's not quite even. Right, so if we pop that on there, a little bit more. Maybe it was actually this side that I needed to trim. Hey ladies, my brain is not really working too great. So we're going to put that on there, and I'm going to glue that right now so that I don't lose where it's supposed to be. I think that'll be too busy with the other flowers on the front. Just gives a little bit of something. So we're going to pop that to the side, and we've got, I just put the underneath the trimmer. So we pop that to the side. We're going to open this up. So we're going to just burnish our score line. I like to do it both ways just because then it softens the fibres of the paper a little bit more and just makes it a little bit more manageable when you're using it. So we're just going to pop some glue. Now I know that not everyone likes glue, so if you are another adhesive person, use whatever your favourite adhesive is, just keeping in mind that you want that to be quite a strong adhesive, because you want it to, it's going to be opened and closed a bit, so there's a chance that it might move. Alright, so no, I did a pretty good guess on that. I'm going to pop that, not yet, Kelley. And we're going to decorate the front a little bit. Like that. And that one is going to go in there. How's everyone's week been? Well, it's been a little bit crazy. Can't believe how quick it went. So much happening, but that's okay. There's usually always something happening, isn't there? Alright, so before we pop that on, we're going to stick this on. We're going to glue the back piece. So where we've put the Designer Series paper, we're going to add some glue there. Don't want it to ooze out too much. And then we're going to find the center of this part, and we're going to line that up. Just visually is about there, and you want it to sit slightly above the card so that when you fold it there's not too much stress on the score. Just slightly up so it sits nicely like that. Okay, so that's where our flap's going to go, and then we're going to pop this piece in. Actually, might stamp it first. So I was going to do just happy birthday, I think. Maybe a couple of these flowers, so let me get some ink. It hasn't been put away from my class. Fresh Freesia Ink burst. Let's go garden green. Maybe some yellow. So we're going to stamp on here. And then I also want to use the dies. Oops. Come with it. too big. Kind of defeats the purpose of putting that designer series paper on if you can't see it. So let's go with this nature dye. Pretty things. Let's go dots. How big? Oh no. Oh, have you had that terrible flu that's been going around? We've had so many people away sick with it. It just takes a long time to recover from, so take care of yourself. I hate to say, but Matt's been 3 weeks, and so have I. It just doesn't seem to give up. Or you start to feel good, and then you get another little bout of it. So I hope you are on the mend, Andrea. That was close. Okay, so let's cut that. Now a little. Yeah, actually, all of the ones at work that are feeling like that, we all had the flu jab. But it's hard because the bugs that are around now, that jab doesn't cover. Just because they don't know what they're going to be. But it does really knock you. I'll run that through a couple of times just to make sure. I haven't been able to do any crafting all week. So I came in here and I was like, I haven't even put away my Stamp Club stuff, which was on Monday night, which is unusual because it usually gets put away sort of relatively quickly. And then I'd often spend a Saturday, half of a Saturday at least, like tidying up and getting organised, and I just haven't been able to do that. So oh yeah, Matt sleeps in his lazy boy. Oh, that's good that there's some positives in there about sleeping, being able to sleep upright. And okay, so on here we're going to use. I'm going to use this bigger flower and this little flower. And maybe this leaf. So this is a 2-set stamping stamp set, which means that you have 2 layers to create your image. Some people, there are people that like certain ways of doing 2-step stamping. I prefer to use the stamp, not the solid stamp. So it would be your detail stamp, and it would be your darker colour. I prefer to use that first. I got a piece of scrap paper. I want to stamp off because this is going inside, so I also want to be able to match up my stamp, so I know that I've got the long petal over that side, and maybe on this one too. I'll stamp off there. Close that up so we don't get in a mess. And then we're going to use our solid stamp. You can use the same colour and stamp off, but seeing as these are colours in the designer series paper, I figured that they'll work quite nicely together. And then just line that up here, and we'll pop in one of those full strength up here, and then one of these stamped off. So that's just going to give it a light hue over the top, and then I'm going to do this one, the darker one. I'm going to stamp off, I'm going to pop it over here, and then I'm going to use the darker one, and I'm going to stamp off twice just to give that lighter tone. Yeah, whoops, a little not lined up very well on that one, but still gives you two different colours that you can use. And then I'm going to pop a little bit of, I didn't bring out the solid for the little one. I'm going to use a bit of yellow to mimic the designer series paper. I need to use, I keep forgetting about that yellow one, it reminds me of sunflowers, which are my fave, and so I need to remind myself to use that actually. And then I'm going to put this one in the middle here, and there, and you'll notice it's got like a little light spot in it. It does have another solid one if you wanted to go over it, but I actually quite like that effect, so I'm going to leave it. Alright, this stamp set has mostly kind of thank you excuse me, thank you sentiments. So I've grabbed the Pattern of Friendship, which is quite nice. I quite like the Happy Birthday. It's like a bubble font. Maybe I need more flowers on there, and I'll put that inside. So let's go same tone. Oh, I haven't done the leaves yet. Oops. And then we'll go Fresh Freesia. It's a little bit off. Maybe it goes that way. I wasn't looking closely at which way my stamp went, so that's a problem for lining it up. But generally, if you are aware of where you are, you'll be able to line it up quite easily. Okay, so let's do some green leaves. got my finger on that one. That was clever. That'll do. And then, oh. Yeah. One there. And maybe one up there. There. And a little bit there. Actually, I feel like there needs to be something in there. So I go really lightly. Okay, and then let's use what colour should we use? Let's use green. Okie doke. So let's finish this off. So we're going to open this up. This is going to get glued inside. Did your kit arrive, Andrea? Have you had time to play with stuff? Even considering you've been sick. So like that, and then this goes over there like that, and we're just going to pop this on the front with some dimensionals. Alright, and then we're going to pop this on the front here. So then you can open and then open. Just something a little bit different to give a little bit of interest for people receiving your cards. And open. You could put something in here as well if you wanted to. I have seen also it done where the card is upright and it's coming from the side, or this way, coming from the side, and then open that way, or open that way. So you can do whatever. You could do it this way and have the flap coming in from this side too. So lots of options. Thanks, Alison. I think the paper makes it a bit easy too. It's a good one for using designer series paper. You could put another piece of DSP in here if you wanted to. It's a great way of showcasing some of our designer series paper, especially when we have so much of it. Okay, I need to just double check, but I'm pretty sure I got everyone that put down. I'm going to see another. What is that? Window open. Facebook. Because I think it was Andrea, Jill and Alison, who all made cards with the black ice technique, which the cards looked amazing. I love the differences in them. Yep, so Alison, Jill and Alison did 2, and Andrea. So I've got you guys on the wheel. Smooth, flip that up. And I will pop something in the post to you ladies. So good luck ladies. Thank you very much for sharing your crafting with us. Come in, Alison. Oh my goodness, Andrea again. I will pop something in, Andrea, when I get your designer series paper share in. When I send it off, I'll pop something in your packet as well. Alrighty. Let me see, can I flip this around? Yes, I can. Alright, thank you very much for joining me. I hope that you have a lovely week ahead and that the weather is not too bad. That also, if you are feeling under the weather, you pick up and you feel a little bit better. And I will see you next Sunday. Bye for now.